Okay, we're at COMP100 and it's week 10, lesson 10, part 2. Last time we talked about methods, and now we're going to build out the first piece of our adventure game. Right. Well, our adventure game that we're going to build starts like this. It's going to be almost like a console-based adventure game, right? So I'm going to make a new console application. I'm going to build this build that I'm going to make. You're going to build on. You're going to actually, when your assignment, your next assignment number 5, is going to use this piece to build upon it. Okay. So we're going to call this COMP100. We're going to call this thing, and actually I used some of the same idea with this other game programming course that I use. We're going to call this the Dragon. Okay, COMP100, the Dragon. Okay, so here's COMP100, the Dragon, and it's going to be a console-based adventure. I'm going to press OK. So here's COMP100, the Dragon. You're going to use this as your starting point. Now there's nothing in here right now, and I'm going to create a new GitHub site, a repo called COMP100, the Dragon. Okay, and I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to go into my Team Explorer. I'm going to go Changes. I'm going to say Created Base Visual Studio C# project. Commit. And I'm going to also put in there my Git repository. Okay, good. So you should have everything that I have now, which isn't much at this point. Okay, so we need a couple of things. I'm going to install the menu, right? Instead of you doing it, I might as well do it. So it's going to look like this. I have a little shortcut that I use called menu, which does all this. Remember this? And this menu is something that I'm going to reuse over and over again, but I'm going to program it a little different. So I'm going to give every option whenever you have a menu. So, you know, there's going to be a choice for you. You're going to come to the story is going to progress where it says you're going to come here and this is what's going to happen. What do you choose? 1, do this. 2, do that. 3 for quit. That's what it's going to be. So it's almost perfect. So instead of it saying exit here, right, I'll say give up. Maybe I'll put a little unhappy face. Oh, there, give up, right? So that's the first piece of the menu, give up. Now enter choice number 1 here. This enter choice number 1 here is going to be replacing, you're okay, Ravina? I gotta put you on the YouTube so everyone knows that you're here. It's going to replace this piece here. It's going to say, you know, this is going to change to kind of go with whatever I'm saying. So in my menu is actually going to take the 2 strings, 1 string that goes here, right, and 1 string that goes here. That's going to replace my right line commands. So my menu is always going to change because my menu is actually, if you notice, it's a method, right? My menu method actually checks to see if I'm entering in a proper number, 1 or 2, right? And what it's going to do is it's going to check to see what happens when I choose 1 or 2. It's going to do certain things. Okay. Now, you might think this is impossible, but the one thing I do want to have here is I can use this menu idea, right? My menu idea for my choices. So every time I have a choice, I'm going to do this menu thing. So to keep it simple, the first thing I'm going to do is go to my main menu, right? So, or my first choice, if you will. So I'm going to rename this thing. I'm going to refactor, right? Rename, and I'm going to share this with you in a second. Rename, I'm going to say Spooky Cave. That's what I'm going to call this thing, right? So it's called Spooky Cave, and I'm going to call my Spooky Cave right here. spooky cave. All right. Okay, so I go to my spooky cave in my main. That's the first thing that happens. Okay, cool. And then it's going to go, okay, I'm going to have to talk about my little, this little kind of story piece, right? So it's going to go like this. My story is going to go like this. I'll call it a string, and we'll call it story text, right? And we'll make it so that the story text is actually a text object. Watch. And you know what? Just to keep it the same as what it was before, because I have parts of these pieces already made, I'm going to go online and grab the original Dragon game that I made from GitHub and take the story pieces out of here and put it in. So I'm going to go back up to GitHub. I'm going to go to me, go to repositories, and I actually made this thing called the Dragon. Right here it is. The original one is here. It was actually a web program, a web project that I used, right? But inside here, what I'm going to do, the web project was a little different. I'm going to go in here into my into my JavaScript. Sorry, into my index.html, and I'm going to take this part here, this original text, which is what I want to say, and I'm going to go back to this piece, and I'm going to put that stuff in here. I'm going to clean it up. So there's no paragraph tag, obviously, because that doesn't make any sense, right? And there's none of this, and none of that, and none of this. Let me watch what I'm going to do here. Okay, so I'm going to build this out with you guys. Okay, and it's closing off this whole thing like this. It's pretty long, right? So it says new line in constant, right? So you see this whole thing here. It's a big long thing here, a big long story text, right? So normally what you can do is if I do this, that line is okay, right? And then what I can do with our stuff here, right, is I can make this, I can add to this thing, right? But I can do something like this, story text plus equals to, and then I can add the same thing here and here and here. Bear with me while I fix this up for the first one. So you see what what it looks like, right? So here they are, and I'll go do this again. Okay, and in the beginning, I'll say as soon as it goes here, we'll do a \n, right? \n, 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 and \n. Right, so this is what it says. You're in a planet full of dragons. In front of you, you see two caves. In one cave, the dragon is friendly and will share his treasure with you, and the other dragon is greedy and hungry and will eat you on sight. Right? So what do? So, and then the next piece, if I go back to online, let's keep it the same. Which cave do you go into, right? And that's the choice. So which cave do you go into is the choice, which we put right here. So I'm going to take this thing, it's my menu, so copy this thing, and we'll put another space in there, and maybe another space in there. And this is what I'm going to say here. Which cave do you go into? Right, so let's make sure I respace this thing so it's proper. And take all these spaces away. Right? Which cave do you go into? And then we'll say cave 1, and cave 2. Cave 1 or cave 2. So this is the stuff that it says here. I'm going to print this out. So my story text isn't printed. I'm going to go control, and then it's going to go story text, right? And let's see how this works right now. Let's see how it looks before I move on. Right? Or 3, give up. Right, because you're afraid to go into any cave. Let's see if this works, if I'm good. You are in a planet full of dragons. In front of you, you see 2 caves. In one cave, the dragon is friendly and share his treasure with you. And the other dragon is greedy and hungry and will eat you on sight. Which cave do you go into? Cave 1 or cave 2? Or do you give up? Please make your selection. So I say cave 1. Okay, and then, of course, this is going to go to the next stage. Right? This? So it's really, sorry. This. This? Look. Added pluses. That's all I did. Right, so I added pluses here. Okay, so I try and convert the number, and if you go into cave 1, in this particular case, it's going to say, give you a message. Go into cave 2, it's going to give you another message. What message is it going to give you? Well, if I choose cave 1, it says you approach the cave, right? It is dark and spooky, la 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 la, and all this stuff happens. I'm going to just grab all this text here for a second. And it's going to say start over. Right? That's going to be the text. So, bum, 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 bum. I'm going to go back in here, and I'm going to say story text again is equal to all that stuff. It's going to print out story text. All right, so I'll say story text is equal to story text is equal to, if it's choice 1, you approach a cave, it is dark and spooky, right, \n, right, and then we'll say story text plus equals, we're just adding it in. A large red dragon jumps out in front of you. Right? Story text plus equals to this. He opens his jaws and what does he do? He gobbles you down in one bite. Right? There's a line break, which means just another one of these. Maybe a couple more of these. Right? More spaces. Just for effect. Story text plus equals to, get rid of the p tag, and just converting this other game that I made into this. Gobbles you down with one bite. Okay, so let's try that out. So for case 1, this is the and again I can give some things. So this is cave 1, right? Player dies, right? And this is cave 2. Player lives, right? And this is my other text. Let me just finish it off since we're there. Cave 2, da 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 da, and gives you all this treasure. This part, and then start over will be the ending for both parts, right? Start over. So da da da, Control V, and we'll do this again. Story text is equal to for the first one, because we want to set the story text something else now, and a bunch of strings. Now there's many ways to do this thing, but I'm going to make it so that way equals to story text is equal to and we'll do a couple of these, one of those, right, and \n. And maybe another \n in here just to make it give it effect. Okay, so how does this look? And this can't be equals, it's going to be plus. Plus equals because I add on. Okay, and after that's done, it's going to say game over, or after you made your choice, whatever it says, it's going to say start over. And instead of where it says press any key to continue, right, it's going to say start over. So my wait for key, right, it's not going to say that anymore. It's going to say start over. Wait. No. And let's add it, make it a little bit nicer. Wait for key, start over, and we'll make it so it goes. Actually, we'll make it all these dots here, like this, just to make it more start over. There we go. Start over, and this little arrow here, and we can add in some more of those later on. Okay, let's see how that looks. Just making some text. Planet full of dragons. Give up. Which cave do you go into? Cave 1 or cave 2? You get a couple of texts, right? And it goes back to this side. Okay, let's try it out. Okay, let's change the way it works. So we're going to say the layout. Sorry, my colors. It's going to be a white background with black text, and my layout, my font is going to be Consolas 18. Just make it big. Okay, so let's try the watch, Ravina. You're on a planet full of dragons. In front of you, you see two caves. In one cave, the dragon is friendly and will share his treasure with you. And the other dragon is greedy and hungry and will eat you on sight. So which one do you pick? Cave 1? Okay. Oh, what happened? How come I went to this cave 1, cave 2 selection? Well, I did that. But when I choose anything, cave 1, cave 2, or cave 3, it definitely ends. But what it says is this, but you know what I didn't do? I got to do the same thing. I got to do this thing here, but I forgot to do a console write line, right? And then it's got to be story text. So you got to print out the story text again here. So I got to do this little thing here. Because otherwise it worked, right? But it doesn't show anything. Okay, cool. And the other thing I need to do is, after I print this out, it's going to say start over. Because my story text needs to call wait for key. Right? So wait for key is not just going to happen for my default, right? For incorrect, please try again. My incorrect entry, right? It's also going to do it here at these levels too. Anytime you do anything, it's going to say, start over. That's the way I'm setting it up, because I'm calling my wait for key method, right? I'm calling my wait for key method, which is up here. So here's my wait for key method. It says start over. That's all it does. And this is my my little story. And after I make my choices, either way, it's going to tell me to start over. One way, it gobbles me down. It gobbles you down with one bite and gives you his treasure. Right? So it's like a choose your own adventure game. Let's try this again. All right, so your close planet for dragons. Which one you want to do? I want to go to cave 1. It says, you are approached the cave. It is dark and spooky. A large red dragon jumps out in front of you. He opens his jaws and gobbles you down in one bite. Start over. So press enter. You're back to here. And what do you want to do? Now, when it goes start over, right, I don't want it to start over again. I want it to show my message. So that's something that I got to do to change my menu. So when it goes start over, I want this same text up here to show. So in which case, it can't be up here. It's got to be in here. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to put this in my while loop. So it's going to be in here, right? My story text is going to appear there. And maybe let's enter an extra line, a new line, right? So that's my initial story text up here. I'm making it so there's multiple lines of text just to make it easy. And I'm adding it into my story. That's all I'm doing here. So I'm going to write and start it, and there it is. And then when I go cave 1, it's going to be fine, and then start over, and then you approach the cave, it is dark and spooky, a red dragon looks up in front of you and gobbles you down in one bite, right? That should actually take you to the new menu. Start over again, should clear the screen, right? So let me try this again. Let's give up. So I got to fix this the way it flows. So this, I choose 1, and then it does my approach to cave is dark and spooky, and when I press spacebar, wait for key, right? It clears the screen. It should clear the screen. It should clear the screen and then go to my my selection again. So here's wait for key. What does wait for key do? Wait for key does start over. Read key. It does the clear, whatever. And you know what else I have to do? I have to make sure that my selection here. It takes me back out of the switch statement, so some other option. So 1, player dies. 2, player lives. 3, exit the application, right? So exit. 4, default, something happens, something else happens, incorrect entry, please try again, right? And now I'm going to say if it's something else, like a case 4, which they can't get to, but only I can, right? So I'll say case 4, right? Because it's in a switch statement within a while loop, right? Case 4 is start over, right? So I'm going to say it's going to break out of my switch statement and go back up to the top, which is a while loop. So the selection is not 3, right? If it's 2, because the selection still is 2, even if I clear the screen, it's going to do the same selection as before, right? Can't be 2 anymore. It's got to be some other selection, like 4, right? So my selection is my breakout selection. This is my breakout selection. I'm going to say my break. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to do a console.writeLine. Another nothing. Well, not empty statement, but this time it's just going to restart. Right? Because really what it's doing is it's not 3. 3 is an exit. So that's my exit condition. 4 is another thing. So I'm going to say either one of these is going to give me my case now. My selection is going to be equal to 4. So I'm going to wait for key. Before I go to my wait for key, I'm going to change my selection to 4. So selection, right, is equal to 4, right, which is my breakout selection. Selection is equal to 4, right, and now I'm going to run. Let's try again. So here, cave 1, boom, reset. The approach cave, it is dark and spooky. Gobbles down by wait. Cave 2, and I need to get out of this thing. So it doesn't loop out. Let's see what's going on. So it goes to 4. I'm waiting for 3, and it goes up here again to the selection. So I've got to break out of this loop. But I need to break out of this loop my selection, case 1, 2, 3. But it can't be 3. It's got to do this whole thing again. And the story text has to change to this piece up here, the initial story text. That's what's happening. My story text is not in keeping. So maybe I don't need 4 because this isn't making a difference, right? Maybe whatever the choice is good, right? But my story text, I like your thinking, or initial story text or something like that, right? So I'll say this one, instead of story text, I'll have 2 things. Because of my initial story text, I want to go back to my initial story text, right? In this particular example. So here's my story text is equal to this. I'll call this initial story text. And then the rest of it will be the story text within it. So initial story text is this, right? And I'll do the same thing here. Kind of Control C, Control V. That didn't work out. There we go. And of course, I need to have another story text in there for the rest of the stuff. So, or maybe we'll say the opening text. Sorry, I'll rename it. I'll rename it opening text and body text. So that's like the stuff that happens. So this is like my opening text, refactor, rename. Call this opening text, right? Or intro text. Intro text. There we go. Each scene will have an intro text, right? And yes, I will apply those changes. And now I'll make a body text. Well, first I'll call it story text so I can refactor everything. So I'll say string story text. This will be, by the way, this will be intro text. So the top is always intro text, right? My string though is going to be body text, right? Which is a string, right? An empty string. And my body text, oh sorry, I should have called it story text. Story text. Okay, now refactor. So I don't have to do them all. I don't have to do them all individually. So this is going to be called body text. And apply. Okay. So all this has changed now. Whew. Let's try this one more time. Boom. See what I'm doing? All I'm doing is making I got two methods. So here's my story. So you are in a planet full of dragons. In front of you, you see two caves, blah, blah, blah. I choose one. You do that, start over, bam, and then you get the same story again. Which one you want to try? Try two, and then I got my treasure this time. And if I want to, right, I can do some kind of weird graphic too, like a little graphic. So it shows me that maybe I'll do some teeth, right? How do I do teeth in a graphic? Right, well, it's not that difficult actually, right? I have this thing here, this right line. I'm going to use this right line thing as a guide, right? This block. I'm going to take it, yeah. And what I'm going to do is in here, in my body text, right? Instead of console.writelines, I'm going to go, he gobbles you down in one bite, and then he does all this, right? Bear with me, see what I'm going to do in a second. And once, of course, I do this once, then I won't have to do it again because it's just making so it's fun. Okay, so cool. So I want to make some teeth. So how do I do that? There's actually some really cool Ascii pictures is what it's called. Actually, Ascii Images. So if I go here and go Ascii Images, image art generator, right? Picture to ASCII convert, right? Like one of these, right? So I can take a picture, I can choose a file, and then I can, or the URL, right? And it'll generate my image, and then I can download it. I can generate it. So I want to find some dragon teeth, right? So let's say, or maybe the dragon. So I'll go, dragon image, right? Can't be too complicated. Maybe like this. That's enough. All right, so there's my picture. Not bad. Okay, I want to kind of save this image as the dragon. I put it on my desktop. My dragon, my desktop. Save, right? And I go back to this generator here, and I'm going to say choose file, right, on my desktop. This is kind of neat, right? And I'm going to choose the dragon, right, which is this, wherever I put it here. Here's my dragon JPEG, and I'm going to generate. See what happens. Yeah, baby. Right? This is all ASCII characters. Huh? It says code. What was that? No, wait. Where? Go back. Where? It says, where's the option? Color. Yeah, baby. Let's see if I can do this in text. Okay, so there's my dragon. Get the code to HTML or text with colors or not. So now it says here's the HTML version, here's the text version. So see all this? Yeah. Now it's pretty big, right? Oh. I don't know if it'll work, but let's try it out just to be, we're being funny here as we're doing this, right? From your computer, and you will see the picture converted. Okay, good. Example.txt. Control C and paste Control V into a new document and save as example.txt. Okay, so we'll Control C. We'll do into a new document here on the desktop. It's easier for this thing to do. And then go here and go new text document. And that's good. We'll say the dragon text. The dragon. And Control V. I don't see no picture. Where the hell is it? Where, I said, where? Did you see it? Maybe it's because of the margin. Oh, I know why, because it's in WordPad. Sorry, let's open this up in Notepad. Open up with Notepad. Okay, which one did I open with Notepad? Yeah, see? Look at that one. I don't want it in color. I want it like this. What's that? I could, and I've got all the space on the top here. This is all the space has to go. So this space, I don't care about all the space on the top. I'm gonna get rid of it. Be careful. So I'm gonna get rid of all, because I don't need all this space, right? Oh, but there's wings and stuff too. What is all that stuff? It's garbage, is what it is. So I can get rid of it. So I can go all the way to this. So this level here, and get rid of all this, and I'll clean up that side clean up that on the side, right? Because it's all I need, right? And now the only thing is it's pretty freaking large. This thing is this is how exactly how big it's going to be. So when it goes in, it's going to take up like this. It's going to look like this. It's too big. I wonder if there's a way we can get it smaller, right? Seriously, there's a lot of little converters. Like this is only one converter, right? Maybe what I can do is I can see this is pretty big. Maybe there's a way of converting it smaller, right? So I go back out to this. It says size 5. So, and then I'll make it so it's size 1, right? Generate. See, that's a little better. And well, maybe it's too small. Let's go to size 2. That was too big. That other one, size 2. That's okay. I think that's good. This size is probably okay for the screen because that'll fit. Let's go to text version. And now there's a lot less dots and stuff like that here. Still pretty big though. Copy it and go back to my text file. Open with Notepad and Control V. Wait a minute. How come it looks the same? Still pretty big. I think we have to go with the 1. Sorry, I'm not wasting time here, but the idea here is you have to do it right, or else this is going to look wrong. Go with the 1. Generate. Change text version. I think when I convert to text version, it becomes really big anyway. Look how big it is, guys. I don't know if I can make it any smaller. It's pretty freaking huge. There must be another generator, by the way, that does a better job than this, because see how I can't even capture this bottom part. Like I have to do kind of Control A, and then Control C. Maybe you can find one, Ravina. And if I go to my text thing again, open with my notepad, Control V, yeah, it's still huge. So this isn't the right thing. This is definitely not the right thing. Actually, I'll save it because we'll check it later. Let's go back to this. I saw that there's some really sleek ones that are a little better. Picture to ASCII, go back out. And go back out again. ASCII art generator, make your picture to text. Choose your file. I love these things, eh? Choose your file. And we're going to go to desktop. Maybe this was a better one. Desktop. And we're going to go to the dragon and press open. And it could also be that this file's but maximum width in characters. Look, we're going to make it maximum width in characters is like 40. The smallest one. Font size is small. And we will. Does it generate it, or does it white on black, black on white, or white on black? I think white on black because we're in a black screen. Maybe do a white on black because, but it doesn't really matter because it's just characters. Doesn't matter. No, it doesn't really matter. Ah, okay, this is cool. This is it. So this is how it would look. So this thing, and look, I'm going to take all this. This is perfect. This is how big I want it. Look, copy it, right? And now I'm going to go back in my program, and where it says this stuff, I'm just going to kill all this for a second and go paste, right? And now what I'm going to say, body text plus equals to blah, blah, right? So body text, right, plus equals to la and la, right? And those do the same thing. This will also be a backslash n, right? So I'll take all this. It's a little bit of art, right? We're going to try and do. I'll get this part in here too, for now. This part, and we'll go what? What? So I know it's like watching paint peel, but it actually will look really cool when we're done. Shifting everything around. Oh. Well, it shouldn't do anything anyway. It doesn't matter. If you go in there, it should print everything correctly. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna have to. Oh, I messed up. Here, hold on a second. Gotta do it from here. I gotta add this extra spacing right here. I gotta go right in the corner because that way it'll space evenly. Otherwise, it'll be messed up. Okay, and now the endings have to all be the same. So it's gonna be one of these. Huh? What do you think, huh? Guys? You're thinking crazy, huh? I'm like professor that's mad, the mad professor. Right? Let's do another couple of lines here. So I'm going to say less byte, and we'll say backslash n, backslash n. Just give a little bit more space for my stuff. Okay, this is cool. Let's run it now and see what happens when the player dies. Da-da-da-da. And but we didn't. You know what happens? It's so big. So we don't see what happened to the guy, right? So we're going to have to make this a little bit bigger in terms of our size. Go here and right click and properties, and we'll go with 16. See if this is good, or maybe I make it 18. Let's see how that goes. 16, and then I'll choose 1. I only see that still because it's so big, so long. Well, I'm saying this we're practicing it. We're trying to figure it out, right? Because it needs to go to here. So we need this stuff gone. All this stuff has to be gone. So we have to clear the screen as soon as I make my selection and then go through. So it's got to be like this. It's got to go case 1, the player dies, and the first thing we need to do is we're going to say console dot clear. Okay. Console.clear, and then this happens. Let's try that again. So, okay, that was good, but I need to do this. So it does this, and it says start over, right? I wonder if there's a way. Now I'm getting fancy. If there's a way to. Now you're getting mad at me, right? You are. You're getting mad at me. You see it. If there's a way to add a timer, I want to put a timer in place, right? Just wait so I can see my gobbles down my bite to stop for a few seconds, and then it comes up. So let's try that. Huh? So let's go here and let's say instead of body text plus equals, it'll be body text equals. Let's stop recording for a second here, and I will go here, and inside here I'm going to go here. I'm going to do this console.writeLine here, console.writeLine, and then we'll go body text up to this point. We'll do a timer. Once I do the first one, the second one will be the same, right? So is there a timer event? No, it's too difficult. So let's look it up. The thread. I don't want a thread. I want a timer. System. No. C# timer. Example. Timer class. Look. Here we go. C#. And what version is this? First of all, is it good? Yeah, 4.5. It works fine. So it's look, a timer object. Hello. There's no thread. Right? But do we need any more using statements? Here's my constructor and a bunch of different objects. I want to get an example. Here's some examples. I need system.timers, and here it is. System.timers is 2000 plus equals onTimed event, onTime, and a timer enabled. Press any key to enter the program. Read line. Terminate the application. What was that? Where's sleep? We have that? Where's sleep? That's the best button. No, I don't want threading. But this timer is the same thing. Look, a timer is a new system timer. A timer elapsed plus equals a timed event. No, that's an event. That's too complex for you guys. I don't want to do that. So let me see if there's some kind of okay, a sleep timer. C# sleep function. Thread sleep. That's what you used, right? Me not like. I don't like it, I said. All right. Is it for our version 4.5 sleep interval? There's no timer. Look. What's the? Okay, give me an example of that though. Sleep and then time span. Do I have to use? It's the thread class. So system.threading namespace. System.threading namespace. So, but I just have to go sleep. Right. So sleep and an integer time span. So I don't have to do anything else. Right. Let's try this out. So I go. I got to put this using statement in here. Using system.threading, and I'm going to go in here and say sleep. No, I don't. Should I have to do that? Thread.sleep? Really? Thread.sleep. And in milliseconds, 2 seconds. Let's say. Let's check that out. And so it does this, and then it shows this. Okay, let's try this out. Da-da-da-da. Okay, down, bump. Maybe it's too long though. It's not long enough. So it's like maybe you know, we'll do 3,000 because you can't read it fast enough. You say, let me see if I can read it fast enough. It says you approach the cave, it's dark and spooky. A large red dragon jumps out. So I can't read it fast enough. So maybe 5 seconds. 5,000. Sleep 5,000. One. Good. That's good. That works. 5,000. So that's what it is. Start over. Okay. All right. So now let's try the next one. The next image I'm going to make. Now we have the form we're going to make. We're going to put it in here, right? It's going to be so we're going to do the same thing. So sleep. This whole thing, console, that right body text, all this kind of stuff. We're going to do it twice. So I'm going to kind of put this in here like this. Give a space. And what was that? Which file? No, I don't want that. I want it in here.
But what if it's so large? How can you write?
I could put another method, but you know what? I want it so you guys have some simple things, right? Like I made this thing with Ascii, my Ascii thing. Let's go back to that program for a second. So I don't need this anymore. I don't want to drag in. I want treasure. Treasure image. Treasure. I can spell. Treasure image. Okay. Let's see which one is good. This is not bad. It's got to be pretty simple. Not this one with the skull. But the whole idea is you can make all your everything out of. This is not bad. Maybe this one like this. Oh, it's also there's no background, which is good actually. So save image as treasure.ping. We'll put it on my desktop for now, and we'll save. And now we'll go back to that ASCII2 thing. We'll load up a new file, and we'll go to treasure, open, and we'll say send. No, I don't like it. So let's go. That's okay, but I think I want to make this one 60 large. Let's try that. Let's say try 60 large. Send it. What do you think? No? You don't like the image, eh? See if we can find another one. So that's not a great image. Something that's really easy to see that it's a treasure chest. How about this? It's got to be something that's simple. Like, you know, which one? This one? It's too complex. Maybe this one. I can't use colors. I can't, I said. Because it won't map it. How are you going to color it up? Yeah, but it won't keep the colors. Right? So anyways, I like the one we chose, but let's choose this one instead. This one here. So hopefully this one's not so bad. But the only problem is it has these stupid words down here. Like this one. That's like Shutterstock again. I don't want to use an image that's been like copyrighted, right? So something that's got to work that's like makes sense. Like a chest. I like, you know, let's just keep the one we had, man. Here, let's go back here and let's go send. Let's go make it 80. See if 80 makes a difference. That's not so bad. Look, What do you think? And we can take, so it looks like, now you can see that there's like pieces here like this, right? So we'll take, let's say from here, we'll take the whole thing. Hopefully it's not so big. It's gonna be this big though, right? So we'll do the same kind of idea, same cut and paste. Cut, Control C, go back in here. See how big it is compared to this. If it's really too big, then I ain't keeping it. All right, and then we'll go in here and Control V. Yeah, it's massive. Look how massive that is. See, it looks good on this, but then it doesn't look good when it comes to copying and pasting, right? Yeah, I think I gotta go back to 40. It's too big. It's too small the other way. Send. And it looks small, but really isn't, because when we convert it into our code, it's a different font size, and that's why it's actually quite nice. So go here, paste. See, looks okay. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go. So we're going to say body text dot. See, I did this wrong. I did it wrong, guys. X. And you're trying to find out how to do it in color? Is that what you're trying to do? Huh? You show off. Yes. A little bit. How about that? You're a little bit of show off. Hold on. Body text equals, and then we'll do the same thing. We used to do this way back in the day when there was no generators. We did it by hand. Trying to figure out how it looked. Sometimes it looked pretty bad. But we didn't have generators that did it for us, right? So we kind of had to kind of generate it on our own. And the problem was that there was, you know, it really depends on the artist, the person who's doing it, to see how it looks. And in this case, the image is really bad. How's that, guys? Right. Oh, this? Yeah, it doesn't matter though, because you mean add an extra space in there? No, because it's all pushed to the left too. See how the end is back this way too? Because I don't have an extra equal. So I'm going to post that over to the right. So we know that's cool, and we'll just want to do one of these, and we'll Control S, and now we'll run it, and let's see how it goes. All right, you are in a planet full of dragons, and now you choose option 2. Bam. It gives you his treasure. See? Start over. No. Yeah, but you have to specify the color, right? Like yellow or whatever, right? Yeah, but the thing is, you don't know. For the dragon, is a red dragon, it's all red? But no, you can't do it here, right? Huh? Let's see. So how do you do it, Ravina? Tell me. So I want to make this one red and the treasure chest yellow. How do you do the colors? For here, when I print it out, console dot what? I don't want to print anything. I want to use this. I want to print all this in color red. So how do I do it? Huh? Okay. Console dot full foreground color. Really? One word. So I have to switch it back now again, right? When I do this, it stays like that forever until I go back.
Yeah,
It stays like that, right? Well, here's red, and this will be, hold on a second, this will be yellow before it prints off. And then the text here, my body text, before I print the body text off, will be, what's normal again? How do you reset it? No, because it's different, because you want to go back to the system color, whatever the system color is. Did you find it? Lasted longer than I thought. So we're playing. Right? Are you done yet? Come on. Console color.reset or foreground color is console.reset color? .reset color. And I gotta do the same thing on the other one. Hold on a second here. I'll do that when I go. So I've done this, I print this, and I do this when I print this. And I might as well make sure that this is all correct when I do my right lines, because otherwise what's going to happen is I might have reds or greens or whatever. It's going to protect me. Okay, let's go. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Going to cave 1. Ah. Bum, 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 bum. Start over. Dum. Okay, going to cave 2. Please remember posting a cheerful large white dragon approaches you and gives you a treasure. Bam, it didn't look good. So maybe we'll make it green because the yellow doesn't show up. It'll show up on the black, but it won't show up. We'll make it so it's green treasure, the leprechaun treasure. Come on. So instead of yellow, it's green. And we'll make it run again. We'll just try green. Cheerful, light, large white dragon approaches you and gives you a treasure. Bam. Okay, that works. Cool. So this is going to be the basis for your game that you're going to make. What I want you to do is I want you to make a bunch more levels. So this is like only 2 levels. And I'm going to give you the details of your game next time, where you're going to make each one of these things here, each one of these, right now it's called Spooky Cave. You're going to make, instead of these choices here, this case 1 will be another kind of cave. Will be another little body text. And you might include other kinds of graphics in here, right, if you want. You don't have to. You can choose to or not, right? But basically what you want to do is I want you to, my original assignment that I had for COMP100, which I'm going to adapt to this one for you. It's going to be a 10% assignment because the other one was a little bit more difficult for them. It's because it was worth 15%, but for you it's only worth 10 because there's less to do. So it's going to be, if I go to courses, COMP100, I'll show you part of it right now. And I'll show you what it looks like. Here's assignment 1, and it looks like this, right? So right now, see if I can zoom in here so I can show you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to adapt this for next week. So right now you have, why is it doing that for me? So right now it's called the Dragon Game, right? And you create both an internal and external document, blah, blah, and what you want to do is I'm not going to make you do a document. There's not going to be a document for you. It's going to be nice and easy. You're going to extend the functionality of the site and include 2 more decision levels because you only have 1 decision level. Right now, you're here. You went node 1, and then from here you went he's dead or he's alive. That's what you did right now, right? So now when you go here, instead of he's dead, you're going to go to another method, and the method's going to give you another story. And I don't want you to use the dragon. I want you to make your own. So instead of you go into a cave, it's dark and spooky, you're going to make your own story. So let's say, for example, you're on an adventure, you're on an island, and you're on a deserted island. You woke up, you lost your memory, and you don't know where you are, kind of thing, right? And you want to find your way out. You can go to over here, which would be the beach, or you can go over here, which is inside the forest. Which where you go? So I go to the beach. Okay, in the beach you see blah blah blah. And what do you choose to do? There's some. You hear the beats of some crazy drums, right? Do you go towards the drums or do you go deeper into the forest? You go towards the drums. Okay, towards the drums. Uh-oh. Now there's two choices. Well, you see in front of you, some wild, crazy aliens that have whatchamacallit, they invite you to join their feast. Their feast, they're eating something. You choose to join the aliens or you choose to run away. Okay, either way you die. So here's all the outcomes. Look, if you choose to join the aliens, they eat you. If you choose to run away, they get you. Right, either way you die. And there's only one path of positive outcomes where you actually win. So there's 7 chances to die and only one way to win. And each way you're going to create a different method. And it's going to be each of the methods you're going to create, right, is you're going to do this. You're going to do another menu, right, with some other choice, other text, maybe some other body text here that you're going to replace this piece. Right? And you're going to keep this other stuff. It's all ready for you. So you're not going to do this from scratch. I'm going to give you this, right? And once I give you this, you'll have the ability to make your own little text game. A couple weeks. Yeah, I'm going to give you a couple, of course. I'm not going to make next week. You're going to do it next week. Okay, how about that? No. All right? Would that be acceptable? So I'll give you that. I won't give you to now. I'm going to give it to you next week, right? So I'll give you a chance to brush up. And really, I want you to study for your exams next week, or your tests that you're going to have next week. Yeah. So I'm going to go Team Explorer, and thank you for your help, Ravina. I'll give you credit for this one. Changes, I'm going to say created Ascii images, right? Commit, and then home, and then I'll go to unsync commits and sync, so you'll have that if you want to start working on it anytime you want. And I'll give you the details for that. It'll be worth 10% of your final mark. Actually, I think you guys would like that too, eh? If I gave it to your class, you probably would have liked that. But it would have been too easy for methods, right? This is something you should have done in now, right? Because then the thing is for you, you'll understand how each method connects to every other method. So you can't do it with one method, and I'll make it clear in the directions. Each method will go to other methods, and each other method will go to another method until you get to the end. And when you stop, I want you to go all the way back out to the top again. Or how do you do that, right? Because you basically have to exit all the way back up to the top, right? And how you would do that is this: if I was to call, like you said before, if each of these cases, if you wanted to make it so that these cases were each a method, right? So this is instead of cave 1, player dies, and cave 2, player lives. Right? Then I can extract all this information into its own method. So the way I would do this is I would take all this stuff, right? And I would go refactor, extract method, right? And I'm going to call this cave 1, right? Because that's the first cave. And you can call it whatever you want. So that's gone. There's cave 1. Watch. And here's cave 2. Watch this. You're going to love this. Right click, refactor, rename. Oh. Right click, refactor, extract method, and I'll say cave 2. So there's cave 1 and cave 2. Now there's 2 methods, right? 2 more methods, cave 1 and cave 2, right? Here they are, right? With the body text totally separated. But now, in this particular cave, this is the ending. These are the 2 ends. So this is one player lives and this player dies. You'd say, so negative outcome 1, negative outcome 1, player dies, right? And then here is your, oh, sorry, that would have been positive outcome. You have a positive outcome. The player gets the treasure and runs away, right? But here, and you can make your own story. You don't have to use a dragon. In fact, I encourage you to do that. Positive outcome 1, right? Player lives. Wins, like a win, right? And this is a loss. right? And that's how you do it. You kind of, I better refactor this. I better save this up. Here, I'll go to Team, Explorer, Home, Changes, and I'll go refactored project. Commit, and Home, and unsync commits, sync. So what you do now is, right, when you're done, what happens? This goes to a new method. It goes out to the new method, does what it's supposed to do, comes back here, and gets back into this loop, right? And what happens is, unless the player picks 3 to give up at any time, right, he keeps playing until he gets to the end. And then when the end comes, right, he's done his duty, and it's going to go all the way back up. So the way it works is this. He starts here in the spooky cave, right? And let's say the next place he goes to, right, instead of going to cave 1, looks like this. Looks like another spooky cave. So it goes 2 more paths from that place. And that's how you'd have to design it. So I can help you with it, right? First, I want you to pick out your story. And it's got to be, like I said, you may have to write it a little bit. So 7 negative outcomes and 1 positive outcome, right? So like what you're actually going to write at the end, if you look at the total thing, is probably like 8 or 9 or 10 methods. Bunch of methods. They're all going to be the same, but they're going to be different things inside of them. And so to understand how methods all flow and how they back up again, right? So if I'm in the main method, right, and I go to the left cave, and then from that cave I go to the next cave, right? As an example, I was over here. I can't go back to here, right? I have to go back, all the way out. And the way to do that, of course, is to create a case where you send back you can return something from the first method. Like for example, here I've got my body text, right? And it says wait for key, and then I return my body text back out of it. So here's what I'm actually printing out just body text. That's what's happening, right? Because I've refactored this thing to make it this way, right? But let's say, for example, this here, in this method here, you get another choice, right? How do you back up from here to go back to the previous method? How do you link back? That's the challenge, right? So do you know how to do it? So again, imagine if you have the initial method and you go left or right, right? And now what you're doing is you're saying, if you go to the left cave, the first cave, cave number 1, now you have another choice to make. That new choice goes to 2 other methods. Now you're another level deep, right? And now when you're returning, when you go back up, it has to bubble back up to the top, right back to the first method, back to main. How do you go back there? See, here, look where you are. You're here in main. This is the only method I'm calling in main. Spooky cave, right? Spooky cave calls this one, right? This one gives you a couple choices, right? And one choice is player dies, right? Or player lives. The other one is exit. He's going to exit here, right? So he can go back out. He's going to give up, right? So he leaves the game here. So here's a choice. Do we make this console 3, he leaves the game, exit, right? Like not start over, but exit. Like see the game. How do you stop the program from running? Do you remember how to do that? It's actually, if I'm not wrong, it's system.exit, I think. I think it's something like that, like a system.exit. Like I want to stop the program, or application quit, something like that. System application, close. And I think I have to I want to exit from the console, so I want to say, application exit C#. Here's the exit, application exit method in Windows Forms, but it only works in Windows Forms. So I wonder if I can do that with my .NET, and it's the System Windows Forms namespace, the application class. exit overload. How about application exit in console C#. So there isn't one. Environment exit is cleaner. Here we go. Environment exit. Okay, let's try that. So instead of 3 console.writeLine exit, we'll do a environment exit, which is like kind of bad. So it won't even, once you press 3, see, it doesn't even work. It says no overload method for exit, takes 0 arguments. Exit code 0. Let's try that out. So we'll go bam, and I give up, X, I'm done. Right, so now I don't even need to check for 3, my selection, right? Whenever I want to give up, I just exit. It exits from wherever I am, right? Application environment exit if I want to. But that means I don't. This third option is give up. I don't actually have the case 3 will go here. It will go to exit. That's what it does. But it doesn't go back. It doesn't leave. So when I go here to this selection not equal to 3, this can change. This doesn't have to be that. Doesn't matter what my selection is. It'll keep looping forever if I want to, and then I'll always exit with a 3. So this way, if I exit, right, if I start over, that can also mean that it bubbles up. It's something like it start over means I go back to I go back and try again, right? Go back and try again to the node before. But if I want to go all the way back up, how do I go back up there? How do I recursively go back? Right? Because here I'd be in cave 1, here's in cave 1, or cave 2, but cave 2 is going to have a choice. It's going to say go right or left. Which way? It's not going to show me this picture. I'm not going to get the treasure yet. This is the end. Well, I have to draw it out for you. Anyways, let me stop recording and I'll talk about it afterwards.